Why is government a tool of extraction from us and exploitation? It's because it's a private company the Mzungu set up here in 1920. It has never changed. And I'll tell you, maybe now in a grander scale, how it extracts. Kenyans, right?
Yeah.
I heard Ruto one time say that we don't save.
Yes.
Right? Okay, his own minister, Dongo, because this year they didn't publish it, but in Dongo's last budget, he published what was called domestic assets. Our domestic assets are all the money we have saved in banks, all that we have in what you call the capital markets, the stock market and so on, pension funds, insurance funds, all of this, all put in one basket. And you know how much it was? 8 trillion shillings.
That's double our budget.
8 trillion is what we have, our
saved.
Domestic assets saved. That's money in the stock market, money where... Sio ni pesa mingi sana?
It's a lot. Our budget was 4.3 trillion, so yeah, double.
But you know how much the government has of that 8 trillion? In something called domestic debt, 6 trillion.
So that's the one owed to...
They have borrowed from us 6 trillion. Do you understand?
So we have, but we don't have, essentially.
So why did they come to borrow from us? Why did they come to take it? Because they don't want you to have it. So they give a bank, an insurance company, a pension fund, very nice interest rates. Somebody says it's more secure there in a government security called a bond. Right?
Yeah.
At 10% interest rate than to loan you, Sarah, at that same 10%. Isn't it?
Yeah.
I can predict, I'll get a paper at the end of the year saying we owe you, we've paid you so much in interest, and I can roll it over another year.
Yeah.
How do they have 6 trillion? What is the mentality of coming to take away our savings from us? And where do you see it working? You said you don't see it working. Is it working for you anywhere? Is it helping you? Who pays the interest? You. So they come back to your taxes to pay that interest rate on money they took from you to save. Your savings, you gave to them, you as the government of Kenya. Remember, you're the government.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so you save, then you borrow your own savings, and then you come back to me for my earnings to pay the interest. Why?
You know,
am I making sense, Sarah?
It's making a lot of sense. And the question is, how do we rework this? Because
so how it works is simply this.
Yes.
The law does not allow that borrowing. The law doesn't. That's why I say our constitution is so good. Nobody needs to touch a comma. All right? Mm-hmm. It is very good. Chapter 12 talks about how we manage our money. Right?
Yes.
In chapter 12 it says, the government cannot borrow if it is not for development.
Yes.
Development is anchored in a budget. Every year, when they read the budget speech, they put what the ministries, departments, and agencies of government have said they are going to do for development. Right? Yeah. They are building a bridge here. They are doing a water, something there. We are doing a road here. It's there. In the same schedule, they show us what we are borrowing if there is a shortfall. So they say to build that water pipe, let's say a borehole in Kitui. I like to use that example. In Kitui, we are building a borehole for 10 million shillings. The government of Kenya, taxes, are raising 6 million. We have a shortfall of 4. we have borrowed from World Bank. It is there in the budget. We have borrowed from Africa Development Bank. It is there. And the budget is passed, then you go and confirm the borrowings. Development, nothing else. This domestic money, I'm telling you, 6 trillion, you don't find it anywhere in the budget. Funding any development project.
So it's just money that is
so you tell
floating.
Me. No, you tell me. What is it? So why is it they took from us? What is it it's sustaining there?
The campaigns every day we see.
Where is that in the budget?
Maybe that's why they take advantage, because it's not there. But every day we are seeing, every weekend there is 20 million donation, I don't know what millions.
Yeah,
because that's when we question the money.
You see, we are talking about 6 trillion here, taken between 2013 and date. 2013 to date. 6 trillion taken from us. Shall I also tell you how much we have paid in interest from our taxes? Why are you looking frightened?
Because I'm like,
why are you looking frightened? You
I'm
look
expecting
like you're frightened.
a figure that will, what?
4 trillion. Our taxes are paid in interest. Maybe it makes sense to you. It doesn't make sense to many of us. All we can tell you is that you have a government that has decided, and a system that has decided to disenfranchise us of our sweat, of our hard-earned sweat. That's all.
Okay, that's the interest plus the capital.
It's 10 trillion.
10.
Yes.
At the moment, as we speak, our debt is at 11.2. 11.2. Then why has it been hard for us to pay debt if we have such monies just?
These are the million questions we ask. So that is domestic. There's the foreign. So what we did, and I don't want to wow you over too many figures, is that we did an analysis. All right?
Yes.
Of all our expenses and all our collections at Kenya Revenue between the year 2013 and 2023. 10 years. Right? And remember, government has 2 forms of getting money. Tax and debt.
Yeah.
So we did an analysis. What do we spend on development? 10 years. 6 trillion. In the budget. Because this must be in the budget. What did we spend on salaries? What did we spend to the counties? What did we spend for operations so that police have petrol and they have cars and, to move around? All of those expenses we calculated. All right? Came to about, was it 14.6 trillion? All right?
Mm-hmm.
Then we said, what has Kenya Revenue, in all the material available, audited accounts of KRA, what central bank has written as collections, everything. What did they say was collected? 13.3 trillion in those same 10 years. Taxation alone, nothing else. So we had a shortfall in 10 years of 1.3 trillion shillings. Right?
Yeah.
Are we on the same page?
Yes, yes.
Are you sure?
Yes. The other was 14.6. This is 13.2. I'm following it.
So we had a shortfall in 10 years of 1.3 trillion. So you say, okay, that's all that should have been borrowed, correct?
Yeah.
Isn't it? So what was borrowed? So you go to the loan book.
For 10 years.
And the loan book shows that we borrowed 7.7
trillion.
Yes.
And our need was 1.3.
Yes.
Out of kwani, okay.
So
this
when you
borrowing,
minus when you minus 1.3 and 7.7, you get 6.4 trillion.
Oh my gosh.
Above what we needed. That you find nowhere in our books. That is like 50 billion US dollars.
Okay. Does this borrowing just happen like, you know, where we exchange small monies with people without taking, like if a cameraman told me I need 5K, you know, that I can just give without, but for, no, governments don't operate like a kiosk. That's not possible.
Unfortunately, Sarah, that is exactly what happened here. You cannot believe it. That is exactly what happened here. That's a good question you've raised, because I've been asked that by very many people. Are you saying there's no auditor general, there's no control of budget, there's, where was this being done? How? You can't do this. When we started speaking about it, that was the biggest question. I mean, you're just playing politics. I said, really? I mean, those figures, they're phenomenal figures.
Yeah.
By world standards, eh?
Yeah.
All right. I said, unfortunately, that's what we're finding. Even I was taking time to try and understand what exactly happened here. So what happened is this. It was deliberate. What you call a deliberate heist. Our law says this. I've told you about our borrowing, and that everything must be in the budget.
Yeah.
So when it's in the budget, one of the first provisions in our constitution says that all revenue, all our monies, whether tax, whether debt, whether what, must enter the consolidated fund at central bank, what is called the exchequer account. All monies must enter there.
Yes.
From there, the guide for removal is the budget. All right?
Yes.
So the budget have what are called vote heads. Each ministry, each MDA, ministry, department, or agency has a vote head. Right? It's been passed by parliament. So you can draw salaries for your ministry under this particular vote head. You can draw for that project of a road under this vote head. It's even got a number.
Okay.
And then from there, it's what is called an exchequer issue is given. An exchequer issue is raised by the accountant general, right? And must be approved by controller of budget. Otherwise, because what she does is she looks at the books, akiona iko hapo, okay?
And I release.
Anasema sign.
Okay.
It has been passed by parliament. So in March 2014, March
2014,
before the first Eurobond that Kenya took, Aden Duale, as majority leader, presents to Parliament an amendment to the Public Finance Management Act to say that all monies do not have to come to Kenya.
To exchequer or to Kenya, the country?
Kenya, yes.
Or you can transact out
loans, and specifically loans, can go into other accounts other than the exchequer account. And he sought to amend the constitution through an act of parliament, Public Finance Management Act. All right? That motion was seconded by the minority leader at the time, the current Minister of Finance, John Bundy. So they illegally amended the constitution in March 2014 to say that money does not need to go to central bank.
Wait, was this the time for the famous line, ni pesa si ya mama yako bana? It was not that one?
But it tells you the arrogance.
Yeah.
Hiyo ni baadaye. Okay?
Okay.
Right. So they went, and you imagine we had an attorney general. How you amend the constitution through an act of parliament is illegal. It's unconstitutional. Because to amend the constitution, as you know, you need 2/3 of parliament. That particular item would have needed a referendum. Because it means Kenyans are saying it doesn't have to come to our country. The act in the constitution has only 2 exceptions. One, if there is a fund created by Parliament, like the housing development, like the housing fund. Mm-hmm. 2, if an organization, an agency of government like Kenya Power makes some profit, it can keep it. It doesn't have to go
to
consolidated exchequer account. They added C and D. That was A and B.
Wow.
They added C and D, saying loans don't have to come to the exchequer account. Government to government loans don't need to come to exchequer account. Fees and all sorts of things don't have to come to exchequer account. That's when they went for their first Eurobond. With that Eurobond, the accountant general and his deputy went and opened an account at a bank called JP Chase. All right?
Yes.
An account, so-called on behalf of the people of Kenya, away from central bank, where JP Chase went and collected $2 billion worth of a loan to Kenyans, the first Eurobond, and put in that account. The accountant general and the deputy are the ones who distributed that account. They did not need COB.
No signatories, no nothing.
They did not need, the auditor general does not audit accounts other than what is in the consolidated fund. So in all this, where was the office of the Attorney General? Because that's the legal advisor. How did the Attorney General approve an amendment to the Constitution through a statute law, inferior law? How? You know, there's the Constitution, statute law, and regulations. The Constitution is supreme.
Yeah.
You can't amend it through a lower law. How did the Attorney General approve that? That was my friend Githu Muigai. How did he do it?
Did you ever ask him?
No, I haven't asked him.
Okay.
But I would really like to ask him. How did he even make such a proposal? All I can say is that that was intentional, because it must be known you can't do that. So the intent was criminality.
Yeah.
And that is when the rain started beating us Kenyans.
At that point.
At that point.
So as of today,
yes.
Today as we speak, we usually say we lost parliament, of course, captured.
Yeah, from that day.
So this started in 2014.
Yes, that parliament went.
So what do we have then left out of all this?
Parliamentarians, unfortunately, you know, this thing of CDF, I've seen the debate on CDF. Parliamentarians it's like the only thing they are concerned about is CDF.
It's easier to capture votes by telling people,
I've got something here.
Yeah.
Right? So they do not focus on the budget. They don't focus on their major legislative laws that are in Parliament. Because if they did, all of this would not have happened. They are too busy with CDF and fighting the Treasury for those allocations. So they keep talking to the executive as though they are getting favor. You see? And this is where the executive crept into Parliament with CDF. If you were to ask me, it's one of the things I would remove like yesterday. It is unnecessary. Come and fight for your constituency in the budget in Parliament. You pay attention to the budget. You will see a road. You will see pushes. You will make sure that allocations even to your counties consider your constituencies, and you'll all fight for it.
Yeah.
You see, because you have to take. But now with CDF, they don't care what happens in the budget. As long as they're getting their CDF, they don't pay too much attention. You saw the budget speech. How many members of Parliament went to listen to it? Nobody cares.
But did we
it's like they are divorced from it.
Did we even elect people who understand what Parliament is about?
Let me assure you. I don't want to talk about the quality of parliamentarians. But
do you think it's one
Kenyans?
Genuinely speaking.
I think Kenyans, you get what you want. Eh? you get what you have asked for.
Yes.
To say they are not good means that Kenyans are, that's our capacity.
It's a reflection
of us.
So, yeah.
So you actually think there's something wrong with us?
Yes, Sarah? Yes. The fabric is us.
So you think there's something wrong with us?
Because that MP didn't elect himself.
Okay, so you think there's something wrong with us?
Yes,
so you think
as
we
a
are very
people.
low level?
No. But there's something wrong with us that
So
we need
the
to
caliber
fix.
of people who are there, is it high level or low level?
It's a mix.
It's a mix?
Yes.
So you feel they don't have the capacity to interrogate a budget? Really?
Says a lot.
But they are supposed to have particular schooling. Are they not? Can they not read?
Good question. You have seen the debate. I don't get personal.
You see, then I can assure you, if that is the caliber, then they will be voted out. Because Kenyans right now are reading. Kenyans are listening. Kenyans are interested in civic education. If Kenyans could understand that the finance bill of 2024 was going to cause them pain, they are reading, they are listening, they are paying attention. And if that is the voting bloc, those ones will not survive. All right?
Yeah.
And that is the hope of Kenyans. I told you the dawn is coming. That is the hope that is ahead of us. Because then we will be interrogating these figures, these laws. Wonder, how did this happen? It must be corrected. Right?
Yeah.
But that is when the rain started beating us, Sarah.
10 years.
So a regime decided they are going to disenfranchise us. Because when you take debt to that magnitude, who pays for it?
The citizens, sadly.
And how do they pay for it?
Make taxes.
Correct.
Very horrible.
So it is tax in advance. So that's what we are paying. And today it is 70% plus of all the taxes we contribute. So of the taxes you contribute, 70% of it is going to this thing where people have eaten.
And continue to be eaten.
Yeah, it's like this until 2034 and beyond.
That's
because
9 years from now.
Yes. This pain is there for that long.
So
at a minimum, because...
Minimum 9 years.
Yes. That is minimum.
So let me ask, you want to be president of Kenya, right? In 2027, no, yes?
You're asking me a question. Finish your question.
So you decide. If you were to be president then, or even whoever becomes president, is there a way of dealing with that debt? Because 9 years is not it.
Now, you need to understand it this way, Sarah, that if it's taking 7% of our taxes, right? So 70 out of 100 shillings.
Yeah.
Government is left with 30 shillings of our taxes. That does not even take care of the counties. The taxes need 40. So they borrow, they are negative 10.
Yeah.
Salaries need 50. You're negative 60. To make sure police have petrol in their cars and so on operations, another 30. Negative 90. You have not even touched development. So you're asking why roads are not being done? Why university funding is not there? Why teacher salaries are not being increased? Why there's a general malaise about money everywhere? Now you're understanding. So where does government get almost 100% of its tax from? Borrowing. So it borrows more to eat, for consumption, not for development. Where does that pain go to? You and I.
Yeah.
Tomorrow and the day after. So when does this cycle end? As long as we are paying that debt that is taking 70% of our taxes, we are done.
So do we stop paying the debts?
If it did not conform to our laws, why are we paying it? Would you pay it if it did not conform to our laws?
As a president?
Yes.
I don't think I would want to pay something that didn't add value to the country.
If it never came to us, if it never followed our laws, why would you pay? Do you have the courage to say, I'm not paying it?
That is actually the bigger question.
Yes.
So President Jimi Wanjigi, what will you do?
I would not pay it.
You will have the courage to.
What do you mean courage?
The repercussions that follow.
The law is clear. If you did not follow the law, why should I pay? I will not pay a penny. of anybody's money, people's money. For what? And in fact, any we have paid illegally, we must get it back. So any illegal payment will not be made. Why should it be made? It's unconstitutional. What are the ramifications for that? So you ask me, I've taken the oath of office, so I create criminality by paying illegality. That's what William Ruto is doing. Why would I pay illegality? What are the ramifications for that? Sarah, tell me.
I would want to understand if today President William Ruto decided, by the way, this debt, from the way Jimi has been pushing it and using his advisors to just, certify, it's not a debt that was used to fix anything in this country. We don't even owe this money, and drops it. What happens to Kenya? And this means, of course, with in terms of the relationships we keep with these other people, the World Bank, the US, I don't know, anyone else who put in the money, the Eurobond guys we owed. What happens?
First, let me answer one question before that one.
Yeah.
Why isn't William Ruto doing it?
I would ask a very follow-up question for that. Is it because he was part of the system for the 10 years?
Thank you. You've answered my question. So he cannot. He cannot. He would love to do it. He would love to see the majority of taxation which is being taken cut off so that he can live up to even some of his promises. But he can't. He's tied to the past. His past. So he can't. He's embedded in that past. He's embedded in that odious debt, that illegal debt. He can't. He's tied. But let me give you a picture of what you've asked. What would Kenya look like without payment of that debt? This last financial year, we paid 2 trillion shillings to that debt. 2 trillion. To fund free primary. All right? To fund free high school. Free primary is estimated at 4,000 shillings capitation per year, per student. All right? High school, 22,000. All right?
Mm-hmm.
And to, let's say, a general band in university, I think the average is 300,000. A government can contribute a third, 100,000 shillings. To fund that for the current students that are there today, per year, is 180 billion shillings.
We're not even at 1 trillion yet.
No. Per year. So it means you're telling him you'll never take out money from your pocket to take your child to school until university. All right? Currently.
Yeah.
I'm not even talking about increasing the numbers. I'm not talking about what you can do with TVET. I'm not talking about what you can do with expansion of high schools. Because the problem with high schools, you have 11 million that go to primary schools and only 5 million that go to high school. So 6 million eventually fall by the wayside,
yeah.
Right? You wish they were absorbed, and it's just physical structures of high schools. Now, health. The estimate I have seen on universal healthcare for every Kenyan is 178 billion annually. Yes.
We're still yet not
In
at
other
1
words,
trillion.
just with your ID, you should be able to go to a hospital, get drugs, get care without a payment of anything. No SHA, NHI, no. You just walk in and you have it per year. It is available with the current taxes that we pay. Am I making sense to you?
Yeah. As in, I'm looking at those figures. They're not even at 1 trillion. For
No,
both.
that at most is 400 billion. All right?
Yeah.
That is basic. You can afford, VAT is a collection of 400 billion shillings a year.
Just VAT.
Just VAT. At 16%. You can say you don't need it. We are going to reduce it to a sales tax of 5%. So we just need 100 billion. What does that do to the cost of everything?
Take off the budget from me.
Imagine petrol.
Yeah.
What happens to petrol? Petrol today is 51% of your pump price is taxation. Imagine what that does. Your cost of living suddenly just changes.
Yeah.
We have not even gone to even some of the programs is doing like housing. What can't you do to give people free housing? We have a plan in Kibra we had done for 2022 when we were out campaigning. Kibra has got something like 500 acres. Okay? And to make sure, it has about 350 to 400,000 people. To ensure that everyone has a house, and this was something we were trying to do privately, right? Without paying a cent, right? We had a cost of 55 billion shillings.
For the entire?
For 350,000 people. To house them on 100 acres. With a decent housing, 3-bedroom housing, right? With 2 toilets, showers, kila kitu, nice, well done. Not high rise. I think we're going no more than 5 stories, right? With playgrounds, with hospitals, 55 billion shillings. 350,000 people would have been housed, right? 55 billion shillings. What can't you do here? Do you think there'll be something called a slum in Nairobi? And you don't even need to do it as government. What immediately happens, Sarah, is that because government does not need that money and is not exploiting people, is not extracting from people, it is not a private company. It wants to see the private sector grow. So the borrowings we are talking about domestically, your savings, government will never go for it. So the banks will be looking for Sarah to give you a loan. Right?
Yeah.
And you say, now is the time I can get a mortgage. What is the price? What is the interest rate? You'll be told 3%. Because government is not taking it. And they are awash with money. Do you know how many mortgages there are in Kenya?
At the moment, I'm not sure.
30,000.
Only?
Yes.
Out of a 55 million population?
Yes. We have 95 million bank accounts in Kenya. There are 30,000 mortgages.
That's
correct. So why? Why don't people have homes?
Because now we can't afford them.
Great.
Yeah.
So what happens is that now government is not touching that money. A bank operates as a profit-making entity for their shareholders. The biggest profit-making of a bank is loaning the money. So it's keeping it for us.
Yeah.
It's our savings. It doesn't have its own money.
Yeah.
So it has to loan it. As it loans it, it has to compete. You go to this bank, they tell you 5%. This one, 6%. This one, 3%. You go to the lowest. During Kibaki's time, interest rates had come down to below 5% because government was not taking it. It only took what it needed to stabilize what they called at the time money supply. Right? So there isn't too much money out there. It has inflationary impact. Okay? Now, you would be the one who builds those houses in Kibra. Because insurance companies, in domestic debt, they have 700 billion. Pension funds have 800 billion in domestic debt. They now will be looking for somebody who can come and take venture capital. Private. To go and do those things. You look at South Africa down here. The biggest mover of the economy are the pension fund. They finance coal plants nuclear plants, all these things, with their venture capital to their own citizens. They don't need money from outside. You said if we cut off debt, what will happen to outsiders? Yeah, what? Do we need them?
We can see what
Who
Trump
told you we need them?
We see how Trump is shaking
No, but do
the
we
world.
need them? But we don't need them.
But we're not an island.
No, but we don't. What do we need them for? We don't need money. You see, with this money, do we need foreign debt?
Not really. If we have the money, no.
If we are not paying debt, do we need the money from foreign? We don't need. In fact, we can give countries loans. Yes, Sarah.
That's very interesting.
We have been made to believe we are poor. But who has made us believe we are poor? The company that comes to extract and exploit from us. Is it different to the way the Mzungu looked at us?
Not.
No.
When you look at it, no.
We are not poor. We have enough. We have no revenue problem here. In fact, there's no reason why every single Kenyan should not have an income where they have a great life. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Unless you have decided you don't want to work. There's no reason why people should not have jobs. Everyone should have a job. We have just been made to believe that way. Because GOK is like a private company that just wants to extract from us, doesn't want to change our lives. Then they come and give you a border and you're supposed to feel now you're going to be rich. Okay? They give you a token and they think now that's enough for you. They tell you we are giving you fertilizer and that's enough for you.
And the fertilizer is a donation.
They don't tell you how great you are, how great you can become. Yeah? And what barriers they're removing that are stopping you from growing. Because if, Sarah, you had access to a loan of 1 million shillings and you're paying an interest rate of 3%, you're paying 30,000 shillings. That loan is probably for 5 to 10 years. Will Mama Boga go for Hustler Fund?
No.
Where they are paying 16% per year. They'll go for that. 1 million?
Yeah.
You're paying 30,000, I go and do biashara. I'll pay it within even 5 years. They'll pay it within 1 year. Imagine how many people you've created into a different wealth bracket.
Sounds very easy to do and a question of why it's not being done. But the other day the president said he has the courage of Jomo, experience of Moi. I don't know what of Kibaki.
I think let us, I don't want to spend too much time talking about William Ruto. As far as I'm
not looking
concerned,
at him, the person. I'm looking at the presidency in terms of implementing what you are saying, irrespective of
he does not understand, why he's even there. Ruto is currently president so that we know what we need to get away from, what we need to reject, that we need to get out of this order. This thing is not working for us. That is his whole purpose. Okay? Not for any greatness. He will never achieve any greatness. It's not possible. He doesn't understand even what he's doing, why he's there. He doesn't.
Okay.
He is to enlighten us about what we must never have. And why we need to understand what we're about and what is this order that needs to change. Okay?
Yes.
All the previous presidents, Jomo had a foundation. He believed he was there to take the reins, okay, and embed this Muzungu system into an African system, which he did. And there was an empowerment of the African. But remember, still a private entity.
Companies.
Okay? Moi tried to follow the same nyayo. But this time, Kenyans were a bit more enlightened, more educated, more worldly, right? And they chose to fight him politically. They're not going to restrict our political space. Kibaki comes in, and let me tell you, if there was a man who had a modicum of knowing what he wanted to do, was Kibaki. You know, I had the privilege of sitting in a campaign meeting, a PR meeting, in a man called Narkangede's office in 2001, before the elections. And in 2002, before the elections. And we were sitting around. We had some experts from overseas. I was then very much part of the NAC team. Rainbow team. And we had some experts who came in to help us from the UK about how we should brand the campaign, what are the take-home issues. And we had an analysis of the infrastructure that had dilapidated in Kenya, infrastructure, so on and so forth. So we had this big presentation on a board about how we've grown as a country, but nothing has kept up during the Moi era. And after 1 hour, Kibaki sat in that meeting, and after 1 hour, he asked, "Oh, this is very good. Where is my free primary education?"
What?
Yes. And, oh, it's here, sir. No. You people are not understanding. The human resource is the greatest resource. And he gave his story of his own journey, right, as a child to education. How he used to go out with his brother to look after his father's goats. But a missionary church came to build a church next to their home in Othaya. And that church, he said he was so amazed by the brick building, because then building was done by mud to do a hut. Here he was seeing bricks. So he couldn't attend to his goats of his father. He would go there and watch that brick building. And his father kept threatening him, "I'm going to disown you. Your brothers are telling me how you're not helping them." Eventually, he says, that church became a school where he used to go there and he used to hear songs, 1, 2, 3. And he used to just go there and be mesmerized. So his father told him, "Since you are so hooked to what those people are doing, you go there, but never come back to me to ask for any goat for your inheritance." And he went there. And he said that's how he started his education. And he said he ended up now helping his own brothers out of that education. And he said, "Do you know what widening your mind, your horizons does to a human being? That is something I must achieve. That is number 1, number 2, number 3. Okay?
Yeah.
Because he understood, let me empower the human resource. Okay? Not subjugate them to ujinga. Subjugate them to domination and exploitation. Let them understand their true worth, their capacity, and what is out there for them. That is the beginning of economic freedom. He was actually a builder of the greatest resource we have as a nation, called the human resource. So he was very intentional, right? Very intentional about dismantling this company from its domination and exploitation. He freed up, he never went for private money. This is a man who found a taxation of 170 billion as the maximum tax collected by Moi. And he took it to 1 trillion in 10 years. He did not raise taxes. He just made sure there were more people who came into the income bracket to pay taxes. So he changed lives with growth rate. He was intentional about our economic liberation. Okay?
Yeah.
Out of politics, he had to go back to politics. We had the 2007 nasty election. He had to go back to the new constitution. But out of him, we got our final political rights in the new constitution. What we were hoping the regime of Uhuru was going to do, Uhuru and Ruto, was now with a new generation in power, what we called the digital. Remember the time there was a big thing about digital and analog?
Yes.
We were calling Raila analog. Digital analog was that the digital revolution and demographic was going to uplift the country. Unfortunately, they decided Kenya must go back to 1978. The old ways came back. A slavery called debt was built because it's slavery. And until we remove that slavery, we shall never know economic liberation.
You are the president today. You've been sworn in. What are the radical changes you do, and maybe your top 3 things that you know you'd work on to fix the country?
Oh, this is very simple.
Yeah.
In fact, by the way, you say it's not as easy as you say. heard something the other day that was very profound, but very true. One of the greatest lies ever told is the lie of, it's not that simple. How many times have you been told that in your life? You have an idea, you have this, you're told, it's not that simple. And it puts you off what you're doing. Right? Because people want you to see other things, or they want to discourage you. It is that simple. Okay, my dear, it is very simple. This thing is hard and fast. We are now at economic revolution.
Yeah.
So what is it going to take to empower Kenyans? It's by giving them the economy, not government. It's by radically shifting what was embedded here in 1920. The biggest slavery we have today is debt. Once you cut it off, your contribution is more than enough to give you a very good life. Do you understand?
I look forward to that day, honestly.
A very good life.
Yeah.
You will never ask for anything, and you will grow yourself. You know, you want to reach an extent where government to you is sticking to its core issues. And I name the core issues of a government is what generally the private citizen cannot do for themselves. Number one, there's no private industry that can secure the borders of this country against an external aggressor. Wrong or right?
True.
Aye. There is no private entity that can safeguard ourselves from finishing each other internally, police force. But it's a police, not force, sorry, a police service.
Yeah.
Not a domination vehicle. Thirdly, just basic rules and regulations so that the big do not eat the small in any manner or form, whether you're bigger in biashara, whether you think you're this, that there is some fairness in rules and regulations of our coexistence. Right? I can't come to your neighborhood and say I have money to put up a 10-story tower and you want your privacy, and there are no rules that govern it. You see? Or I just set up a bar next door to your family home and I have all sorts of people there. Rules and regulation of fairness. Okay? And fourthly, which I should have said is number one, who we are, what we are about, what is our culture, who are Kenyans. The Kenyan today is who? It's unfortunate we called it the Gen Z revolution. I wish it was called something that was innate to us, not just a generation. Because even Mau Mau, by the way, when they went to fight, they were also the same age as Gen Z. Yeah. They were in their 20s. So we need to identify who are we. Do you know, when we fought in Mau Mau, we're the only country that had been colonized by the British. And the British had, the greatest colony, had colonized 500 million people that fought against them for liberation, both freedoms, political and economic. We're the only ones. Nobody else did it. So it tells you how great we are as a people. So who are we? Today we are a mix. We don't wear our African clothes. We have English names. You said I'm Jimi. We have followed the Mzungu's religion. We used to have religion before.
Yeah.
Right? But look at us. We are very special. We do things even that all other African nations that war the world. We have great runners. Right? We have a great Kenyan spirit of unity. Look at the way we are now of our football. Look at how we are against taxation. Look at how we are against the involvement of any impunity here. We can't take it. Right? Look at how we fought for a new constitution, which came in peacetime. Right? Look at how hardworking we are. Look at how great we are at clubbing. When it comes to clubbing, we also have that.
Yes.
You know, look at our creativity on social media. I mean, KOT, how great and innovative Even Tanzanians were shocked the other day. Right? They could not have imagined Suluhu being hit the way she was hit.
Yeah.
Okay? And how even Tanzanian MPs were analyzed to their capacity, and they are saying, Sisi ni wajinga. Right? Now, look at who we are. So in our own way, we need government to articulate and help us find our cultural revolution. Because when we have identified who we are and understand that this is what we espouse, right? So we know what is acceptable and what we don't accept. I'll give you an example. The UK has probably the smallest constitution, fewest pages, all right? Mm-hmm. But because of particular norms and acceptable practices, a prime minister who resigned because he had a party during the time of COVID. Here, a president is caught stealing, and tomorrow is another day. Caught killing. Even can shoot people, and tomorrow is another day. We must be a society that does not accept that. A culture that does not accept that. That there are particular norms and practices. If you're a thief, you are unacceptable. We don't care what you tell us. You are not acceptable in public leadership. You're not acceptable in any leadership. Right?
Yeah.
So that we know this is what brands a Kenyan. If you are a wash, you're not acceptable. There's no money here that's acceptable, that's all good. No. No, there's a way we as Kenyans want to be branded. We don't want to be branded outside this country as wash people. Right?
Yeah.
Many times I tell my Nigerian friends, the unfortunate thing is we love your Afrobeats, but there are a lot of you that are seen as conmen.
Yeah.
Okay? We don't want a Kenyan brand that is out there. Because once we have our culture, right, of who we are, we can unleash this vehicle of conquest beyond our borders.
True.
We can go out, and somebody knows in Tanzania, and this is a Kenyan teacher, they know they are going to grow because of that teacher. They are not going to be taught unethical things. They're going to be taught great things that will expand them. You see, yes. This is a Kenyan business person. This is a Kenyan nurse. They are the best. When we were young, here, the best doctors were Indians. Okay? In nearly every town, because they were ahead of the African getting, right? So if you didn't find a Mzungu, you found an Indian. The best teachers were known as Indian because they were the second-class citizens that took over from the Mzungu. We were last to go to school. Okay? So we were behind, right? We want a situation where the Kenyan goes even beyond these borders and is so respected as quality, as ethical, as moral, okay? That this is the brand of who we are. Right?
Yeah.
Today, if somebody tells you German engineering, you believe is better than Japanese. Why? It's branding. It's branding.
Seems you believe that.
No, I don't. I think if you read a lot of science,
yeah.
a lot of science, a lot of engineering, by the way, they tell you Japanese passed Germans long time ago. But the Germans have a way of branding themselves so that they can price themselves at a particular market. So who are we as a Kenyan? We need to get to that level where we are priced different, right? Coming here is something that's priceless. Being here, everyone wants to be here, right?
Yeah.
Us being somewhere, we are not going there as slave labor of Rutos. We are going there as Kenyans of value. And in fact, why are we going? Why are those people not bringing those things here? Look at Japan. Japan is now what you call a failed state because they do almost a failed state, they are saying, because of population. They don't have a young population to work, but they have a lot of industry. Why do you want to go there? Learn Japanese, get jobs there. Why don't they bring the industry here? Okay?
Yeah. Why
are we not that country that grows to the lengths with supply contracts like you see in China? China today can assemble 200,000-300,000 people to do a task. Yeah. Can we?
At the moment, no. We cannot.
Right.
Yeah.
This is what a government does. 4 things. Beyond that, Sarah, you're capable of building your own house, are you not?
Very nice.
What you need is access to capital.
Capital. I like the 4 things you've highlighted. In addition, I would want to know how your foreign affairs policy would look like. Because Kenya in the past, not in the, actually even now we're still in that murky waters of being checked by the US. We are going to take away your non-NATO ally status. We're going to check our relationship. Yeah, how would that look like?
You see, the world has changed dramatically. I think if you read by all indications, and I think Trump is a great catalyst, it's an economic frontier. Even the so-called globalization order was more an economic agenda. The issue of guns, wars, nuclear, these are not the future. All right? So it's an economic frontier. And in economic frontiers, why are you aligned? Kenya has prided itself on being non-aligned. Why are we aligning? We don't need to align. We don't need to be a NATO ally. For what reason? For what reason? Please tell me. We have survived 60 years without doing those things. Everyone is our friend. We must look at everybody as Soko. Both ways. Okay? Yeah. We are only 50, 60 billion people here, million people.
Million.
The world has got 8 billion plus. Isn't that our Soko? So why are we thinking about aligning? For what interest? We are already very westernized nation in our lives. We believe in capitalism. So we believe in profit making and everyone earning their sweat. We speak English. We have their religion. Isn't it?
Yeah.
But so what? China is the largest English-speaking country in the world. Does it make them English?
No.
No. They have their culture. China has gone out there, and why they're having a fight with the US today is economic. That's why you're hearing all this tariff business.
Yeah.
China took over, right? And today, the 2 giants in the world, who are half the GDP of the world, are China and America. Right? It's economic. So we ask ourselves, what is our economic benefit? So Sarah, if you are ambassador in Nigeria, I would not ask you how many cocktail parties you've gone enjoying and how many AU summits you're attending. I'll ask you, how much biashara are you giving to Kenyans? Have you opened up a soko there for them? Are they able to sell avocado? Are they able to sell flowers there directly? If you cannot show us how you have increased in 1 year, it's time for your replacement.
Go, come back.
Yes, hiyo ndio kazi yako. It's economic. That's the only conquest we need.
Okay. It's interesting. Most Kenyans today and Africans are looking as Ibrahim Traore as this African, perceived what we want as a leader. What is your take on Traore, and would you go his way of cutting the West and looking to maybe, for him, it's Russia?
You see, I don't know whether I quite agree with you about Russia. What Ibrahim Traore did is show the world, and especially Africans, that the minute I cut off neocolonialism, the country benefits. He just removed France from being the extractor and the exploiter of their mineral wealth.
Yeah.
This is what we are saying here. We just need to remove the government of Kenya as the extractor and the remover and exploiter of our wealth. Once you do that, Kenya will be much bigger than Burkina Faso. All right?
Actually, we are already. We
We
big.
are.
Yeah.
So all he did was remove neocolonialism. But they have no political rights. They have a military regime. They do not have democracy. Here we have democracy. We have our political rights. Imagine now when you remove that heavy burden of the same aspect of neocolonialism that is in the government of Kenya. Remember the private company? 1920, still here. Remove it. And that's exactly what Kenyans will see. A wealth and a future and a prosperity beyond their imagination. And that is the time we are in. That's a conversation we should be having. And when we are having this conversation, please remember, we are all one tribe. We are the tribe of Kenya.
Yeah.
There's nothing like, there's more that unites us than separates us. Don't allow politicians to separate us into different tribes, into different shapes and sizes. It's nonsense. We all want the same things for ourselves, for our families, for our country. We all want the same things for our future. Okay?
Yeah.
And don't let us be robbed by people trying to put us in those divisions. Those divisions were set up by the same Muzungu, 1920. Keep them all separate, divide, and rule. We are one tribe called Kenya. So Sarah, you're my tribesman, my tribeswoman. Right?
Yeah.
Everybody is one tribe.